Okay, I was watching the old so-and-so on YouTube, and she was at a antique store, a place where they had different booths, and some of it was antique, some of it was, you know, odds and ends, and she came by this one booth, and had her camera filming, and I saw these little stockings that were made, and they were really cute. They were handmade, and she kind of backed up, and she picked it up, and she looked at it, and they had $2 a piece on them. But they were different than this, but along the same concept. I made my stocking different. And anyways, I thought, oh, that's a cute idea. I'll do those and make them my way. So I'll insert a picture of what she saw. Okay, and after she picked them up and looked at them, they were only $2. And she didn't, and then she put I think she put a caption on the screen that she said she ended up buying those. And I thought, there was 4 of them, I think. And I thought, I'd buy those, and that's a cute idea. I think I'll go make some similar to that, but make them my way. So I went into Silhouette software, and I made a stocking. And then I made the top, which I'm going to just drill holes and put those on. Now, hers also had... Her stocking was a little more straight, a little more primitive than mine. And the toe on hers was wired on, cut and wired on. You could cut the toe off and wire it on the same way I'm going to do this. But I just made a little tip to go on mine. And then I've got a snowman here to put on it. I cut this with my laser. And then I cut all this here, these 4 pieces with my scroll saw. And then I've got to figure out what I'm going to put on this one. I haven't figured that out yet. But I'm going to get to working on it. And I went ahead and drilled the little holes where I needed them on my cuffs. I think that's right, yeah. And I'm going to give them a coat of antiquing wax all over before I start painting the color on them. All right, I decided to I'm going to put a snowman on this one. So I'm using English Apple Barrel English Navy. I think I'll go all the way up. And then I'm going to have to do this one. I got to decide what I'm going to put on that and the tip of the toe. Then I have this one. I have to decide what colors I'm going to paint it. Now, I went ahead and I cut some little bitty stencils. They were almost too small. I mean, too small to cut, but they cut, but they was kind of hard to stencil. But I stenciled the little snowflakes on. And now I'm going to have to paint all my stuff on my snowman. But I'm going to put on this and this a coat of Deco Art burlap. It's called burlap. Let's see how that looks up against the blue. This will be covered, but I wanted to go ahead and put it underneath in case the piece I cut, well, that's what the laser cut is good, but when I use my scroll saw, if I don't follow the lines, it may not fit as well. That way, that'll cover it up. I'm looking for the piece that goes on there. I think this is, nope, that's it right there. I have to paint it also. Paint this and that, let them dry, see if they need a second coat. And then I'm going to probably put some red stripes or something on them. And then when I get this finished, figure out what I'm going to do, I'll be back and show you. Well, I have this painted, and I used a little stencil I had to put the stars on. And I've decided on the toe and this here, I'm just going to use some burlap. So I'm just going to Mod Podge it on. And then I'll go over it on the top. My end frame. And I'm going to do this to the cuff part on this here. The same thing. Then I'll probably go around the edges with some wax or something. I'll do the same with this. And I've painted this all up. You can see the colors I've used. And next thing I'll do, when I get all this finished, this is dry, and I have this wired on because I'll have to drill 2 little holes through that burlap to connect it there. I will start gluing this little snowman that I have painted all up. You can see the colors I've used, just a white and a gold and an orange for the nose, dotted the eyes on, and then I'll put the wire on it and it'll be done. Okay, I decided to go ahead and put the burlap on the heel also. And I have this glued together, but it has to dry, and this all has to dry. And I'm going to set this aside and start working on this one now. I gotta let all that dry before I finish it up. And this one, I believe I'm going to do a red and cream on this one and use the star for it. I just have to start painting and see what I'm gonna do. Like, I change in the middle of course every time I start something, but that's my plan. I'm gonna go find some paint, the colors I'm wanting, and start this one. All right, what I've decided to do with this one is go with that burlap again, like I started on this one, and I changed my mind. I'm going to do this part in the burlap, and the toes and the heel and the cuff here in flamenco red. And I'm going to paint a star and put on it, and I don't know what else I'm going to do. And it is subject to change with me. But that's my idea right now. I'm thinking I have a stencil that I cut out. I think I'll use that on as stars. I think I'll use that on the heel and that and that. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to do the flamenco red by Apple Barrel. Okay, I painted, ooh, I don't want to be careful. I want to be careful. I painted the star with the golden sunset, and I put that in there where I wanted it so I could go around it. I took this style, I don't know what it is, what I used to indent flowers with, and I just dotted around like that on my stocking. And then I'm going to let that dry real well. And I have a stencil here I cut with some small primitive stars that I'm going to put on. And I don't know what color I'll use for those. I'm thinking maybe just this background color here. Tie it all in together. And I'll put that on here, and on there. And then I'm going to, from there, probably put some dark wax on it. But that's where I'm at right now with my stocking. Still, this one still needs to be finished. I need to drill the holes in this. I need to go around it with some dark stain or wax. I'm just about to the end of these two. Now that the stocking is drying, I can go ahead and put the stars on here. And I am going to go ahead and use the burlap color. Gotta be careful. Right, I'm going to have to switch hands now or come back over this way without moving it. I had a heck of a time cutting this stencil For some reason, neither one of my Cameos will connect Bluetooth. And they were working yesterday. I was using them. And I don't know what happened, but they're not connecting at all. I've removed them and put them back on. It shows they're on there, but it just keeps saying reconnecting, reconnecting. And usually my 3 goes on with no trouble whatsoever. I mean, it just connects like that. The 5, I have a little trouble. It takes a little longer, but it always connects. Not today. So I had to do it I had to pull my computer out and hardwire it. I'm wondering, I think that's dry. Okay. All right, I'm going to finish this up and let that dry and get my wax out. Okay, I have been going around my stocking and this and I should have done this before I put it together, but I went around the little hat and the nose and the star, went around this too, but like I said, I should have done that before I glued it all together. And now I'm working on the star. Okay, that's good enough for that, I think. Put a little bit, darken it up just a little. And that will go on this one. And I think this is dry enough that I can do the same with it. Down to putting the finishing touches on them. I'm going to go on around this and finish it up so I can get it ready to glue that down on there and start wiring this together. I think that's about all I'm going to do to these. Well, I cut this stocking out a long time ago, and this I cut out too quite a while ago. Well, probably about a month ago. I don't remember where I got the paper, but I printed out on 12 by 12 cardstock. But you could use anything. You could paint it even. You could even do this. Instead of wood, you could do it with cardboard. But I have it, and I'm going to, it should be a simple project, so I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do is put a good coat of Mod Podge on here and let it dry, and then I'm going to iron it on. So after I get this on there, I've got my iron sitting here. I can heat it up, and we'll iron this on, and then all we'll have to do really is start embellishing it. All right, it is dry now. And I'm going to put this on there where I want it. Had it bent over. I think that is going to work right there. Just want to make sure all the edges are going to be covered. And I'm going to put, I don't have anything put over it, so I'll grab this Teflon. And I'll iron it on. Go around the edges, down the middle real good. And it's good and stuck. I'll put this back out of my way. And now I've got to take the edges off. I'm just using my finger sander, and I'm going to do that all the way around and take the edges off, flush with the wood. All right, now that I have that done, I've went and got my distress ink, and this is Vintage Photo here, and I'm going to make the heel I think that's dark enough. I'm just kind of making an oval spot here on the heel. I'm going to do the same on the toe. Let's see, on the toe, I'm just going to go right in there. Same way. Okay, now I think I'll go around the edges some. Not doing much with the Vintage Photo. I may get my, what is it, walnut? Yeah, I think I'll get a darker one. This is walnut. Okay, I want to be careful though. I need to turn my iron off. I'm finished with that. Need to get my re-inker, or I need to get my ink and re-ink that, looks like, again. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go along the edges like that. I don't need it up there because I'm going to put a bow. Definitely going to put a bow. Alright, that's good enough. Good enough. Now, what I'm going to do next is I realize I need 2 holes. I'm going to drill a hole here and here for my wire. And then I'm going to make a bow. And, you know, kind of embellish it up a little bit. It's going to be a simple project. Well, I thought I was videotaping making the bow, but as I looked up and started to turn it off, it was on photo. And I had pushed the button, not made sure anything happened, so I didn't get it. But I did just make a bow, and I cut holes in my, or didn't cut holes, I drilled 2 holes in there for my wire hanger. And before I go any further, I'm going to give this paper a coat of Mod Podge to protect it. I already put some hairspray on it, but I'd already got a drop of water or something on it before I got the hairspray on it. So that's why you want to put hairspray on it. makes it bleed. It makes it, it keeps it from bleeding like that. So I'm going to put my Mod Podge on it and just finish it up. Okay, I'm making sure I am on video this time, and it is running. Okay, I just went and I put the wire on there, and then I added a rusty bell in the center of my bow. And I'm going to put that right there. Like that. Ow. Okay, now that is finished. That's all I'm going to do to it. Alright guys, that's all for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one, we'll see you later.